Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Happy, bringing you the latest and most up-to-date information about Square Enix. Today we're going to be talking about Sword Art Online Lost Song.
I'm so flattered!
Okay, guys, so despite the overwhelming desire for me to go and play Sword Art Online Lost Song, today IGN.com has released this review on it. Let's check it out for a second.
It's not bad by any means, but Sword Art Online Lost Song is an ultimately pointless action RPG. Its flying mechanic is pretty cool, the multiplayer is fun, and the controls are easy to understand. But repetitive combat against recycled enemies combined with a boring story.
Okay, let's stop right there. That is heartbreaking for me to hear that. It's heartbreaking for me to hear that it's going to have a very boring story. And you know what? It just breaks my heart to hear that, because I was really looking forward to playing this game. And, you know, for somebody from IGN to call it that, you know, it really does suck. And, you know, I do hope that the story doesn't really suck, and that's just one person's opinion. Have you guys played the other Sword Art Online? Can you guys tell me, you know, how they are more or less? Because I have never played a Sword Art Online video game. So just let me know in the comment section below about that. Alright, let's continue with the video.
Made things pretty tedious by the time my adventures were over. Lost Song takes place in a fictional fantasy MMO called Elfim Online, where you can take to the skies as tiny fairies and battle it out with monsters or other players of different fantasy races. In other words, the selling point is both fight and flight, both of which I found pretty enjoyable in the short term. It was fun gliding through the air and duking it out with winged griffins and weird bat creatures. Sensible button mapping and responsive controls allowed me to smoothly use sword skills and magic simultaneously, and the flight controls were pretty dependable, though I did sometimes get disorientated trying to keep track of winged enemies because of the constant need to spin the camera around. Unfortunately, the constant repetition of doing the same handful of combat moves against the same type of enemies over and over and over again in the same types of dungeons got old fast. A bigger issue was the annoyingly low altitude limit in the first half of the campaign, which dampened my enthusiasm for flying quite a bit. It was only when the high-flying ban was lifted that I felt a real sense of joy gliding over sunny meadows and frozen tundras. Lost Song retcons the awful second story arc in the Sword Art Online anime, which could have been a great improvement, but instead of replacing it with something exciting and meaningful, it presents us with, well, nothing really. The story is bland and predictable. There's a mystery involving a group that will do whatever it takes to clear Elfim Online before anyone else, but unraveling that mystery is a pretty dull affair. On top of that, there's no reason for the main protagonist Kirito and his friends to get involved. There's no mad scientist trapping them in a virtual world like in Sword Art Online, no dastardly villain holding one of them hostage. In fact, there's hardly any friction between the heroes and so-called villains. On top of that, there's nothing super interesting for Sword Art Online fans to latch onto. Interactions between Kirito and his friends are limited to side quests and short cutscenes consisting of little more than awkward flirting. The humor is so flat and the dialogue so forgettable that towards the end, I started jamming on the fast forward button so I could just move on to something else. Your pretty teammates are much more useful in battle, where they can use their skills and spells to help Kirito fight off baddies. Lost Song allows you to mix and match any combination of 15 playable characters into one 3-party team, and a flexible customization feature means weapons and skills can be swapped out while in town. I appreciated that, since it temporarily injected a little life back into the combat. With that said, I found it easier to just stick with a small handful of team members, as upgrading equipment and buying armor can be resource intensive and pretty expensive. Lost Song's saving grace is its well-executed multiplayer. It allows you to team up with up to 3 other people in co-op or versus mode, and is easily accessible via the Town Inn. I had no trouble connecting online and syncing up with other Sword Art Online fans and coordinating attacks against tough monsters like fire-breathing dragons, which made battle a little less repetitive. I also got a kick out of testing my skills in one-on-one duels that included stipulations like no magic and sword skills allowed. It's dangerous to go alone into Sword Art Online Lost Song. The single-player campaign is paper-thin, combat and enemies are repetitive, and the fan service kept to a minimum. On the other hand, adding other players to the mix lets you find the fun in its smooth controls, coordinating against tough enemies, and tough competitive duels.
Okay, so at the end of the day, it seems like the game is not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Well, as bad as they made it sound at the beginning, because what I wanted to play the game mostly for was the multiplayer aspect of it. I would really like to play with you guys personally, you know, because I rarely play any games online with you guys. So it's all up to you guys. Just let me know, like, for real, like, if you guys want me to buy this game, I will buy it, just based on the whole I want to play with you guys personally. Overall, it does seem like a pretty good game though, regardless, you know. The flying seems pretty good, getting around seems pretty good. The combat seems pretty awesome too, especially the part that she says that you could, you know, upgrade your combat later. Like, it's more for online playing more than anything. You know, you could actually upgrade like from Fire 1 to Fire 2, things like that. That seemed really interesting to me. So overall, guys, I would really just want to know from you guys exactly what you think, if I should play this game or not. I know I said it before and I didn't get like almost any comments, but I'm asking you guys again, do you guys feel that I should buy this game? The holiday season's coming up. It's gonna come out in a week from now, so let me know in the comment section below. I cannot stress that enough. Okay, guys, this has been Happy. Remember to subscribe for your latest and most up-to-date information about Square Enix. Ratata, have a nice day.
Yeah.